Let's start with New York City. Like, look, it's bigger that it's here, but if you're watching at home and you're buying the pay-per-view, you might not understand the process it took to get this type of fight legalized in New York. How long has it been?
It's been 8 years. Yeah, it's taken 8 years to get this done. People here in New York could watch it on pay-per-view. They could watch it on Fox, on free TV. They could drive across, to Jersey and watch the fights live. But we couldn't do it here in New York.
Why? What was 8 years ago when you're like, hey, let's go to New York and do this?
It's a combination of dirty politics and the Las Vegas Culinary Union. So
the what?
Exactly. The what? The Las Vegas Culinary Union. My partners, former partners, the Fertitta brothers.
Fertitta brothers, yeah.
They own Station Casinos, which is the fourth largest gaming company, and they're non-union. So the Las Vegas Culinary Union has so much clout, apparently, in New York that they could keep us out of New York for 8 years. Isn't that disgusting?
It is. It's disgusting. So to be here, and as somebody who has, you and the Fertitta brothers, I mean, like, was it, how long they own it for? They own it for, a decade?
Yeah.
For 10 years.
So you want to know what's sad? If you look at, we're coming in here with the biggest, we broke the record at Madison Square Garden for the biggest gate ever, right? And we beat the old gate by 6 million. The revenue that we bring into this city, the hotels, the restaurants, the fans that are going shopping and doing all this stuff, the revenue that we will generate in New York was being held out of the state of New York by the Las Vegas Culinary Union. Then as soon as Ari Emanuel purchases the company, they scatter like roaches when the lights come on because they weren't interested in the UFC. They didn't really think the UFC was that bad. They were just trying to attack the Fertitta brothers.
It's fascinating in terms of politics and how it actually works. So for you to walk into the arena tomorrow night, what's that going to be like?
It's going to be amazing. Obviously just Madison Square Garden alone, let alone the card that we brought here. But very few things in my career have I looked around and really took it in. But I promise you tomorrow night I'm going to do that.
Alvarez and McGregor obviously is the headliner. Look, McGregor it's almost like a caricature. It's like, I know you're going to tell me that you were really holding him back, but come on, dude. Like, were you really holding him back? Like, he wasn't really going after Alvarez there.
Not only was I really holding him back, if you don't think that kid wouldn't have thrown that chair at him, he would have. We both thought that he threw the chair. Right. And McGregor just got in trouble for this in Nevada.
Right, that's why he was talking.
And believe me, everybody thinks that.
That's why he was talking. It wasn't a chair that he threw, though. Well, something. Was it a chair?
Cans of Monster.
Cans of Monster.
Yeah, Monster Energy drink he threw at Diaz's camp out in the crowd. And people like, oh, you act like you were holding him back, whatever. He just threw cans of Monster at the last one and got fined $75,000.
Yeah, which was
and has to
ridiculous.
do 50 hours of community service. So believe me, the last thing I wanted to do. Plus, it's not only throwing. Those chairs are 10 to 15 pounds. He could have caught his finger.
Well, that's
he could have caught his finger inside that thing. It could have the chair could have come down and cut his eye. I mean, there's so many things that could happen, and you're talking millions of dollars.
So okay, so at what point is, hey, dude, that's enough? Like, at what point? Because he's super late, right? And people were asking him, like, hey, where were you? And he's like, I'm on my own time. I'll paraphrase what he said. I'm on my own time. Like, at what point, Dana, do you have to go like, hey, dude, look, we're paying you a lot of money. You're a huge personality. We love you. But, like, this is it. It's enough. Have you gotten to that point yet?
Well, here's the thing. It's like with your kids. You have to pick and choose your battles with these guys. I have 600 male and female fighters with different personalities, egos, problems. The list goes on and on. And you saw, you can never not show up to a press conference. It's one of the things that you have to do. He didn't want to, so I pulled him off the card on UFC 200. You pick and choose your battles in this business.
So was that a payback for it yesterday?
What's that?
The press conference, showing up on his own time, making everybody
well,
late?
That's what he does. I mean, this is believe me, I have people all over him at his hotel trying to get him out of there. So, is he difficult to deal with? Yeah, he's difficult to deal with in certain ways, but this kid will step up on 3 days' notice if a fight falls out, a week's notice, and he'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. So That, at the end of the day, is more important to me than if he's 15 minutes late to the press conference.
What do you think of the matchup with Alvarez? To you, I mean, and as he said yesterday, he's going for a second belt, which no one's ever done. But in that way, what do you think of the matchup itself between the two?
Yeah, it's a great matchup. You know, a lot of people have been saying that, you know, Conor can't wrestle and Conor can't deal with the ground game. Yeah. Well, I can guarantee you Eddie Alvarez is going to come out and try to take him to the ground, kind of try to take that top position and beat him up for 5 rounds. So if Conor McGregor wins this fight, it'll be tough to say that about him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his strength as a striker. So,
and then yesterday when you talk about, you have to understand too, with a lot of these fighters, you know, they've been training, they've been away from their families, they're hungry because they're cutting weight. You know, they get a little nasty around this time. That's why I'm there. I'm there to make sure chairs, monster cans aren't thrown, and that people don't touch each other. Did you notice yesterday I let Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Carolina get nose to nose? She headbutted her. Yeah. Those are women. So you can imagine what I got to deal with the men.
Dude, the women are brutal. The women, and they don't, like, when Holly Holm lost, like, it was incredible how she would not stop fighting. Like, she would not tap out. It was really remarkable what she had inside her.
When she fought Misha Tate put her to sleep. Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. Speaking of women, Ronda's coming back, right? Yep. But she's already said, and I know that she said this before she lost to Holly Holm. She's already said, like, hey, this is likely to be one of her last fights.
Yep.
And I guess the question becomes this. Like, we all knew that eventually she was going to use this stardom to go on to something else. But verbalizing it when she's been off for a year, that is one of my last fights anyway. And I know that she's been a fighter, you know, as a judo champion like her whole life. I get that. But there is a part of me that says, like, if she's already mentally partially on to the next thing, will she ever be back to the champion she was before she was beaten?
It's a good question. I mean, that's the thing. With Ronda coming back, there's lots of questions, you know? And as fight fans, as you break down a fight and you look at two different people, you know, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, where are these fighters? And I think it's part of the story.
Do you know? Have you seen her fight? Have you seen her in her workouts? Like,
no. I've just been hearing, you know, that her training's going well. She looks great.
Yeah.
She's, you know, but everybody says that about their fighters. You don't know until they get back in that octagon and compete.
Going to Madison Square Garden breaks through like a glass ceiling from you guys, right? This is like, is there any other place that you're yet to come and stick the flag in the ground? Is there any other, like, is there another unicorn out there for you?
Well, our big focus after New York is going to be Russia and China.
Yeah, China. There's some people in China. There's some eyes in China.
There's some people in Russia too. This thing is massive in Russia right now.
Where would it be in Moscow, like in Seska's arena, like, or would you do it something crazy like in Red Square, something freaky like that?
It's true. I don't know where, but I promise you this: when we roll into Russia, we're going to make it big.